Welcome to another free Microsoft Access video tutorial brought to you by AccessLearningZone.com. My name is Richard Rost. In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you a little trick with some Visual Basic code to dynamically resize fields on your form. The way this works is, if you have a form and you want to keep these fields small so you can see all the information, you'll be able to click on one of them like the Notes field and it will automatically expand when you click on it. Then when you click or tab off of it, it gets nice and small. And I'll show you how to do that in this tutorial. So here we have a normal standard customer form. First name, last name, notes, and a couple of other fields. Now, the notes field is kind of small. Sometimes you want to make your fields so that they can save space. You want to make your forms nice and small, compact and tight, so you can see a lot of things on the screen. Obviously, I've made this one nice and small for recording the video. Now, this obviously isn't a lot of room on the form to put information into the notes field. You can see here I can only fit a couple of words before I'm already scrolling in out of space. Yeah, you get the scroll bars, but we don't want to have to deal with those scroll bars. So, how can I make this bigger? Well, I could literally make the box bigger, but that defeats the purpose. You can use the zoom command, which is Shift F2. If you press Shift F2, you get this big zoom window. And you can put pretty much as much information as you want in here. And then when you hit OK, it goes back into this box. That's a bit of a pain, and someone who doesn't necessarily know Access isn't going to know to hit Shift F2. Plus, you can do things like change the font, but this doesn't stick. Once you close Access and restart it again, it goes back to the default font. So we want a better solution. Now, there are a couple of different things we can do. We could make our own zoom form. Click a button and it opens up another form with a big zoom box on it. You can customize that as much as you want. What I like to do is simply play with the size of this notes box on the fly. So you can make a button that you can click here, and it will expand that box so that you can see much more information in there. Now, here's what we're going to do. Let's go to Design View, right-click Design View, and I'm going to drop a command button right down here just to show you something real quick. Let's drop a command button right down here on the bottom. When the wizard starts up, I'm going to hit Cancel. We're going to put our own code in here. Right-click on the button, go to Build Event, and then pick Code Builder. This is how you write some VB code. Here's the Visual Basic Editor. It pops up. Now, right inside this box here, I'm just going to show the dimensions of that box. So I'm going to say Message Box. What's the name of the control? Well, the name of the control is Notes. That's the name of that box. So we're going to say, show me Message Box Notes.height. And then message box notes.width. I just want to see what the height and width of that box currently is. Alright, so save that, Control S. Then we'll flip back over and save that. And let's switch over to Form View. And now when I click this button, it shows me two numbers, 423 by 1980. That's the height and width of the box. Okay, so that's the size of the box when it's closed. In fact, let's write those numbers down real quick. I'm just going to open up Notepad and just save those numbers so I know what I'm going back to. Here's a copy of Notepad. I use Notepad all the time. All right, so it's 423 by, what was the other one? 1980. All right, so let's save that, 1980. That's the size of the box when it's small. Okay, now let's make the box bigger, and then we'll note how big it is. Let's say we want it to be this wide and that tall. Okay, and you might need to make it come to the front, right? So it's in front of these other guys when we expand it. So you might need to right-click on it, come down to Position, and bring to front. That way, it makes sure that it's sitting on top of those other boxes when we do expand it. Okay, now save it, and let's take a look again. Go back to Form View. See, that's its large size now. All right, let's see what the dimensions are now. Click. All right, now it's 903. Write that down, 903 by, hit OK. All right, 5700, much wider. All right, those are the dimensions, small and large. Okay, got it so far? And don't worry what that unit of measurement is. We'll talk about that in some of my advanced classes. But for now, just note that's the amount. All right, back to Design View. Let's re-shrink this down to where it belongs. Like so. Right there. Okay, now let's make this button expand that box. Okay, so let's just say make big for now. All right, right-click, build event. Now, instead of message boxing that, I want to actually change these values. So we're going to say notes.height equals, what was the big value? 903, right? And get rid of the message box. Notes.width equals, again, Notepad. Notepad is indispensable when programming. I use it all the time. All right, that'll make that big. Okay, save it. Let's flip back over here again. Save this. I'm going to close it and reopen it. All right, make it big. Ready? Boom. See that? It just made this larger. Well, I got no way of getting back to the original size, right? If you close it and reopen it again, it'll reset it. But let's make a button that says Make Small. All right, I'll move this down a little bit. Copy, paste. I just made a copy of that button. All right, how about Make Small? Right-click, Build Event, Code Builder. Now I've got a second button. I'm just going to copy and paste this code right here. Watch, copy, paste, right down here. And now I just got to feed those values in, right? What was it? 423 by 1980. Okay, so 423 by 1980. All right, save that. Come back over here, save it. I'm going to reopen it again. Reopening it resets this to everything to its normal sizes and dimensions and startup locations and all that. All right, so now we've got two buttons here. Make big, make small. So that's how you resize that control. Now, there's a couple things you can do instead of using actual buttons. Sometimes what I do, if this is something that I like to expand all the time, you can use something called the onGotFocus event, which runs this code. Same exact thing. All right, watch this. Design view, notes, bring up the properties for the notes. Double click on it. Go to the event tab. There's a command in here, an event called onGotFocus right there. So click on that. Then we're going to click on the ... button over here to the right, Code Builder. And that brings us in here. All right, Notes Got Focus. Now, I don't generally like to repeat code. So if you're going to keep both the button and the event in here in the Got Focus, you can just call one from the other. So when it gets focus, I want to make it large, right? Well, that's this guy. Command 11 click. Now, normally I'd make its own function and all that stuff, but we're just going to do this quickly here. So when it gets focus, it's going to call Command 11 click, which is going to run this code. Then, when we leave this, when we leave the focus, or we lost focus, run the other one. Code Builder, right down here, we're going to run Command 12 click. See? Save that. All right. Close it up, reopen it, and now back to the form. Watch what happens. I'm sitting on first name, tab, tab. As soon as I get to notes, it expands it. Okay? If I tab away again, it contracts it, makes it smaller. The onGotFocus event runs when you click on it. When you click off of it, it goes away. Or you can use the buttons. Make big, make small. All right? Click on it, do some editing. When you're done, you can press tab. And that's how that works. And personally, I think that's a lot better than having to remember the Shift F2 for the zoom. All right, any field that you want to expand, you can do that too. And you can make it whatever size you want. You can also play with properties to move these around on the form here. You can actually make this go up and to the left if you want to. There's a top and left property, and I talk about those in my full classes. Thank you, and I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. For more like it, visit my website at accesslearningzone.com and look for the tips section. YouTube viewers, if you like this tutorial and you'd like to see me post more of them, please be sure to subscribe to my channel, comment below, and share this page with as many other people as you can. The more subscribers I get, the more likely I'll be to post more free tutorials in the future. Also, make sure you go to this special webpage on my site where you can sign up for my free 2-hour-long beginner access tutorial. And of course, if you'd like to purchase any of my full-length access tutorials, use that link to get a huge discount. It's $5.99cd.com/XYTRF. Hope to see you there.